for a look back at all the awesome and crazy things that happened.
Consider it done.
For this list, we're taking a look at movies released in 2018 that failed to live up to their potential. Although these movies aren't all bottom of the barrel per se, they could have been so much more, given the talent involved. Number 10. The Happy Time Murders.
I love singing and dancing. Hiya, folks!
Based on the uproarious trailer, this buddy cop puppet parody looked like it might be one of the year's most pleasant surprises, especially with Melissa McCarthy in a starring role and Brian Henson in the director chair. Alas, it opened with lower than expected numbers at the box office, with many critics and audiences feeling the film was about 15 years too late. Between Avenue Q, Team America, and Greg the Bunny, the novelty of seeing puppets being raunchy has worn pretty thin. While not without some inspired moments and impressive effects, the Happy Time Murders either needed to be a lot smarter or more shocking in a market strangely oversaturated with dirty puppet shows.
I'm not doing this.
Do it!
Number 9. Red Sparrow.
I have done everything you've asked of me.
Although star power isn't what it used to be, a name like Jennifer Lawrence can still get audiences excited. Since achieving mainstream success in 2011, Lawrence has been the girl on fire in more ways than one. Her presence alone was enough to pique our interest when this spy thriller was announced.
Be your spy. Is it any different from being his?
While Lawrence's performance as the domineering Dominica is every bit as captivating as one would expect, the film itself is bogged down by a convoluted plot and several scenes that simply drag on. It's a shame since Red Sparrow is exquisitely crafted from a technical standpoint, but unless you're willing to accept it as pure style over substance escapism, there's not much here.
Yeah, how does it make you feel?
What does it matter?
Number 8. The Nun.
What did you see?
I saw none.
Where Universal's Dark Universe was DOA, the Conjuring universe has shown great potential over the past 5 years, introducing various monsters worthy of the spin-off treatment. That being said, this franchise hasn't been without a few missteps, and The Nun sadly has more in common with Annabelle than Annabelle Creation. Granted, the spin-off was a box office hit, delivering solid performances and gothic production values.
The Abbey has a long history.
Valak.
Not all good.
As an origin story for Valak, though, it adds little to the universe's mythology, and is unlikely to frighten anyone who's become desensitized to jump scares. Considering that 2018 also brought us instant horror classics like Hereditary and A Quiet Place, The Nun can almost instantly be erased from our memories.
Hello.
Number 7. The 1517 to Paris.
My God is bigger than your statistics.
We can't overstate just how much we admire director Clint Eastwood, who's still regularly making movies even in his late 80s. For every American sniper, however, there's a letdown like The 1517 to Paris. A dramatization of the 2015 Dallas train attack, it's clear that Eastwood and company went into this project with nothing but the best intentions. Although there's certainly an interesting story here, there's not necessarily enough material to fill a 94-minute runtime.
Bye, Amsterdam.
Kinda sad to leave it, it was fun.
I know, really. It's a blast.
What really stopped this film dead in its tracks was the decision to cast the actual people involved as themselves. You'd think this would contribute to the authenticity, but sometimes it's better to leave the acting to, well, actors.
Jesus Christ, Stone, what the hell were you gonna do with a ballpoint pen anyways, huh?
I don't know, ma'am. I just didn't want my family to find out that I died hiding underneath the desk.
Number 6. Pacific Rim Uprising. Pacific Rim Uprising is a sequel everyone thought they wanted, but ultimately left most of us wishing the original remained self-contained. To be fair, if you just want to see more kaiju versus Jaeger action, you'll get your money's worth. On a storytelling level, though, the film is full of facepalm-worthy moments.
We gotta get out of here!
While the newcomers aren't without charm, most of the characters from the original film are sorely missed. As for ones who do return, they're largely underutilized, with one of them being unceremoniously killed off. Also, Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is suddenly the villain? That's gotta be either the dumbest thing in this movie or the most amusing.
No, I don't know. Maybe I hate you all for treating me like an insignificant little joke of a man. Maybe that's why he did it, Herman. I did it.
Number 5. Mute.
I don't deserve you, Leo.
Moon was one of those movies that you probably didn't catch in theaters, but eventually heard about when it arrived on home video. A favorite of critics and cinephiles, this low-budget sci-fi flick put director Duncan Jones on the movie map. As a spiritual successor to his debut feature film, Mute seemed destined to become another cult classic. Unfortunately, this Netflix film lacks the tight plot and compelling characters of its predecessor, with the best performance coming from Paul Rudd's mustache. While Mute is undoubtedly a stylish achievement, we'd be lying if we said it didn't look an awful lot like another science fiction film. We think it was called Blade something. Number 4. The Predator.
What's on the ship?
The original Predator is such a kick-ass movie that we can't help but get pumped whenever a new installment is announced, even if we know deep down that it's not gonna be too hot. After the poorly received Predator 2 and the divisive Predators, this Shane Black film had to be nothing short of mind-blowing. Instead of breathing new life into the franchise, The Predator generally left audiences sighing in disappointment.
That's the thing that killed my men.
This film isn't without a few humorous one-liners and the cast share a natural chemistry, but it's difficult to get invested in anybody when it's evident from the get-go who's going to live and who is going to die during the series of standard action scenes.
Come on! You are now not in the presence of nice guys.
Number 3. A Wrinkle in Time.
What if we are not just in the universe, but the universe is within all of us?
Disney was fortunately responsible for some of 2018's biggest hits because they also delivered this box office bomb, which reportedly lost more than $86 million. Even with an A-list cast, gifted newcomers, and a director of Ava DuVernay's caliber, it's not surprising that A Wrinkle in Time couldn't live up to expectations.
I guess I never really thought about that.
Madeleine L'Engle's novel has been described as unfilmable, and Disney's previous attempt to adapt it didn't work either. Still, given its extraordinary visuals, diverse ensemble, and promising source material, this version seemingly had all the makings of a perennial classic. With a script that could have used some more time in the incubator, however, this film is a wrinkle on Disney's otherwise smooth track record.
Be a warrior.
Number 2. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Save the dinosaurs from an island that's about to explode. What could go wrong?
Unlike our previous entry, the follow-up to Jurassic World was a colossal box office smash, although that doesn't mean audiences got what they paid for. After 4 movies, you'd think it'd be clear to everyone that dinosaurs and humans shouldn't coexist. In Fallen Kingdom, however, we not only have to watch the characters make the same idiotic choices, but also make new mistakes that defy all logic.
They're alive. Like me.
Between the volcanic eruption and Jeff Goldblum's glorified cameo, the best moments are all in the trailer, with much of the action in the second half being restricted to a dimly lit mansion. If it weren't for the admittedly intriguing cliffhanger, we'd be ready for this franchise to officially go extinct. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few dishonorable mentions.
And you and me, John, we never had to lie to each other. But it's the lies you tell yourself. These are the lies you gotta live with.
Thought you were retired.
Oh, I am. Just like your dad.
Yeah. What's the matter?
Number 1. The Cloverfield Paradox.
This experiment could unleash chaos.
Like its predecessors, the third Cloverfield had one of the most brilliant marketing campaigns in cinematic history, with its story and connection to the other films clouded in mystery. Originally announced under the name God Particle, we didn't even know the film's exact release date or official title for a while. Our jaws dropped when an ad for the Cloverfield Paradox appeared during Super Bowl 52, revealing it'd be available to stream right after the game.
It's not just particles of 2 dimensions interacting. We've traveled to another one.
Assuming that you weren't staying tuned for This Is Us, we all immediately logged into our Netflix accounts, pressed play, and watched a generic sci-fi movie with no new ideas, engaging characters, or worthwhile plot twists. Well, that sucks.
We should open it!
No, wait, no! Yes, we got it. Stop!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.